live. You guys, we have done it. We have just climbed Mount Everest. Actually, Elena has to figure out how to. We have tried every device, tested every browser, troubleshooted, had support chats going, the whole thing, haven't we, Elena? And you're
Yeah,
here.
we
Welcome.
did it.
Welcome
Late,
to this
but we're here.
conversation, which obviously needed to happen. And we needed to just be reminded how important persistence and determination is. You are such a determined soul. Welcome. Welcome to Consciously Created Motherhood. I'm so glad you're here. Hi, you guys who are going to come on to join us. This is Elena. Elena, will you please introduce yourself to these beautiful moms? Say something
Yeah.
about yourself and your family.
Hi, everyone. I'm Elena, and I am a mom of 3 kids, 10, 8, and 5, and a puppy. I've taken on a puppy since Awakened Motherhood.
Oh, you did. You crazy
So life
woman.
has been busy, interesting, fun, all the things. But yeah, I live in New York with my husband and my 3 kids and my pup. And I graduated to make Awakened Motherhood probably about a year ago, almost exactly in November. It will be a year.
So cool. Wow.
You know,
Has it been a
been
year already?
maybe shorter, maybe longer. Sometimes I feel like it's an eternity ago because I miss everybody. I miss the community. But definitely it was. I looked back. It was election day last.
Whoa, that's right. I had forgotten that. Oh my God,
I
that's
know.
funny. We spoke on election day. Oh my God, what
Yes.
an ominous day too. I can't, isn't it amazing how a year flies by and you have a new paradigm now, which is creating this beautiful, rich reality. And just looking at where you are now and the light in you and the energy in your face and your confidence, it's just like a whole different vibe emitting from you, and I just love it. And we got a chance to connect a little bit, and I'm so excited for you to share. So let's start from, we're going to take everybody back a little bit back in time to a year ago, a couple years before that, and just share real talk, like what was life like for you, and what reality were you in at that time? Tell us what was going on.
So about a year ago, I was in coming out of a 2-year bout of living anxiety and depression. And coming in out of the fog of that, I walked into a life that I didn't recognize. I
Oh.
walked into a life of like, I was like invisible almost. I had no voice. I didn't feel like I had a voice. My kids weren't listening to me. I would have to repeat myself numbers of times to get people to, and I still have to do that on occasion, but hear me now. They're
Yeah.
hearing me now.
Yeah.
Whereas back then, I didn't feel like anyone was even hearing me. Um, that was a big thing I came to you with initially. Before I contacted you, I had been in therapy, traditional therapy for my depression, and that helped tremendously for that. But I reached out to you because I felt like I related to you so much and everything you were saying about living in overwhelming anxiety. And I wasn't feeling right. I knew that I had everything that I could possibly have. I battled depression, but I was still dealing with the anxiety and the day to day of like, just really like, I would look around being like, I'm not happy. I don't know why. I can't put my finger on why I'm not happy. I have everything I could possibly want. I have a beautiful family, and everything seemed to be a struggle. I would wake
Yeah.
up and say like, oh, another long day. Like, here we go again. Take a deep breath and like get out of bed. And just getting the kids to school was a big feat for me in the morning.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I
Well,
have been, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, what was the hardest part for you about living there? Like, about everything feeling like a struggle, kids don't listen, whose life is this? I mean, I think
Mhm.
so many women feel that. What for you was, like, not okay about
All of
living
it.
there?
None of it was the life that I imagined, really. None of it was
Yeah.
like before I had kids, it was like, oh, I'm going to be this kind of mom. And, it's never really like the way you imagine before you have kids. But I
Mm.
never imagined that I would be not enjoying them. like I was not enjoying them. And that was the hardest part, I think, just realizing that like I wasn't enjoying my kids day to day. I was missing out on time with them. And that was the most seemingly the most valuable thing to me. The most important thing in my life was spending time with my family, you know? So definitely it was that, I would say, that realization.
And you recently shared that really powerful share, which I had shared in our community, in our group, where you looked in the mirror and like, "Oh my god, the hair was gone." That the stress had gotten so big that your body really was, and this is very typical of stress and overwhelm, your body had just started to show you in a new way that,
Mhm.
we're, like, not on board with this. We're that we're not able to metabolize the level of stress that you're holding. Will you say something about, like, where your energy was back then or your health, your immune system, any of that?
Um, so I, yes, didn't have a lot of energy. I was, at the time that that happened, I was just mentally drained and exhausted at the end of every day. So I had reached out to, I knew that something needed to change, but I didn't really realize to the extent until I saw that the hair loss. I said, like, okay, well, I'm either going to spend my time working on my health or I'm going to spend my
Mhm.
time working on disease, you know,
Yes,
in my body,
yes,
which is what's happening.
yes.
So I um I got some workout routines going. I got in contact with an amazing community I'm still a part of where we, you know, I get up early and I've learned to work that routine into my life. So that was amazing and it was amazing to be part of that community. But that was 2 years before I met you and I still I had started to heal, but I still there was still that missing piece. There was still like that missing piece of the mental health part and the overwhelm and the
Yeah,
anxiety. And that's when I contacted you.
yeah. Yeah, and what other so I know you were exercising regularly, you were working on the physical health part, but still not enjoying kids, and I mean, that's such an important distinction too. I'm glad you shared that because we can be so physically healthy on the outside, but on the inside, if there's a low feeling, a heaviness, like, "I can't even enjoy this, that hurts so bad that I can't sit and laugh with my kids," or whatever that is, then still something isn't being addressed that's asking for help. And I think that's when we met. That's the point when we met, and you sort of called me in. So, will you share with us a little bit? I know you tried therapy, you tried exercise. Is there anything else that you're doing? I can't remember in terms of finding that
I
that.
was actually, so I was meditating. I was finding time in the
Oh,
morning. I said I have to get up early and I knew I needed to just think and figure this out. I was
mhm,
really trying to figure it out. I had so
mhm.
many tools. I was a self-proclaimed self-help like nerd and I definitely, you know, had read all the books and I felt like I had everything, all the tools I needed, but clearly I didn't because nothing was really completely working.
Yeah,
Um, so the meditations even I was doing were great and they were timed to be and exist and be present, which were wonderful. But I knew that I could get more out of them. I wasn't really feeling like it was where it was taking me to a place I needed to go because I wasn't feeling better.
yeah. It
Um,
wasn't resolving the problem. That's you were doing so many things, but none of them created change in how you felt on a daily basis. I can remember that from when we very first connected. So share with the mamas what's life like now for you on the other side of awakened motherhood and our work together. Just share a bit about what's changed for you.
I think the biggest thing is being able, well, two big things, being able to enjoy my family and be present in the moments. I was like so busy previously, just worrying about getting through the time in the day to get to the next thing that I just was like missing it all. And now I feel like I can spend more time being present in the moments, whether it's bickering, arguing, fighting, enjoying pumpkin carving, you know, whether it's good things or bad things, I'm still there and I'm able to either productively work out the issues and the problems through my presentness, or I am, you know, able to enjoy the time that we're having together by being present. So that was huge. And the second biggest thing I think is I don't know if anyone can relate to this, but I definitely tend to absorb people's feelings, emotions, whatever is going on around me. So being able to protect my own energy and realize that like this might not be my feeling, this might be your feeling, has better served me to be able to help my kids with their own feelings. I can be present for them and say like, not just get rattled and emotional and need to leave the situation because I'm afraid of the feelings and what's going
Yeah.
on in the scenario, but I can really kind of say, okay, these are your feelings. I'm not going to get emotional about it. I can separate the two and be able to help my child through their emotional meltdowns and things.
So good.
I
It's
never knew that
everything.
was possible.
It's everything. It's so good. My heart is so full hearing that. I know. I watched you go through that experience of and as we do with, all awakened, moms, there's the process of whatever experience you're having, little kid in your tough moment, I'm having that same experience. I see this all the time. And there's just no consciousness that it's even could be even a separate experience. And as you learn how to separate and be in charge of your own emotional world, then presence is possible for your child. Then supporting your child is possible. When you have a kid, as you do, with incredibly big feelings and big needs, and who's very expressive about that, many of us in this group know this, we know this territory well, then and you don't have the toolkit for really standing your ground energetically, we know what happens, chaos happens. And I just love, what's it like for you now to be able to be that mom for him, for all of your kids, and to really be present? Like, is it confidence? Is it strength? What does it feel like for you?
It's all those things. Beforehand, I was feeling, before I went through the program, I was feeling defeated at the end of every day because I didn't feel like I was available for my kids. Even I didn't feel like I was able to support them in the way that they needed and or be able to resolve any of the meltdowns. And I was feeling worse after the meltdown. They were feeling worse after the meltdown. And now it's empowering because I feel like I have the tools to serve them, and give them what they need so that they can also grow to be mature, well-rounded, emotionally healthy individuals. And that's, I think, the most important thing that I can give them.
Does it feel so good to know you are giving them that? You are giving them that. They're seeing you able to do that now, and so they're knowing how to do it. And that is how it moves. Like, for people who don't understand that, who haven't done this work, that is how it moves. It's not that we tell kids how to manage their emotions or how to feel, and then they learn it. It's what we show them. It's how we move through our emotions. That's what they just very organically internalize. It's a beautiful process. And the opposite, of course, is also true. When we're in chaos, then they're just not learning how to deal with their own chaos. So excellent. Okay, what else anything else you want to share? Anything else about where life is now? What are you celebrating? Tell us anything else that I didn't ask about.
Just there's so many things. I feel like that's a good point about the energies. Like, the more our energy is a certain way, even whether it's affected by the child or not, you're both going to go that same direction, right? So
Yeah.
like, if you're not solid in your own feelings and your own energy about what's happening in the situation,
Mhm.
you're going to soundboard off each other, and you're
Yes.
both going to downward spiral together.
Yes.
Like you said, it's a hard thing to explain and experience, and it's like being on a roller coaster. Like,
Mhm.
it's hard to explain. What did that feel like? What did that roller coaster feel like? It was fun, like,
Mhm.
but having gone through your program and gone through Wake Motherhood, I feel like I can't necessarily put words to the experience, but I can tell you that my life is a complete 180 now, on every level. I have a voice in my family and in my day-to-day like living, whereas before I didn't feel like I had much of a voice at all in my own family.
Mm.
It was a
And what
challenge.
what difference has it made for you to have a voice at home? What's the impact of that now for you, or and your husband, or the kids, anybody
Yeah,
else?
is impacted. It impacts everything because people, everyone in my life understands what I'm saying, and they know I'm serious about it because it's not coming from a place of weakness and fear.
Yeah.
And beforehand, it was coming from a place of weakness and fear.
Mhm.
And
Wow.
yeah, I realized that there were a lot of things. Having gone through the program, I realized that I needed to address before I could get to this point. Um, and in 12 weeks, it was such a short time, but we were very interactive together, which was very frequent, interactions helped it move quickly.
Yeah.
And a lot of the work is done after, as well. So,
Mhm.
and I'll never forget the way you put it to me in the beginning was like, just trying to understand what the program was all about. And you said, I'm going to give you the tools that you need to come out of this, and I can help you. And you know I'm still using the tools today. It's not like a 12 weeks and then,
And then done.
right,
Yeah.
and then like
Life isn't perfect, right? We don't fix all. Yeah, I say that all the time, like, now, reality check is we're not going to solve all of life's problems in 12 weeks, but I think what most people don't realize, and you can't see from being immersed in the problem and in stress, is that once you create transformation in these areas, filling these gaps that we all have in how we process emotions, you never go back. You never unlearn it. You never go back to where you were before you launched. There's there's a momentum that gets created that, yeah, you have to keep using and keep working in order to keep growing. But even if you don't do that, you're still never going to go back. The needle never moves backwards. So it's just cool to see
right,
that and hear
becomes
that.
more second nature. It becomes more natural.
Yeah.
Um, because before I started the 12 weeks, it wasn't part of who I was. I had to
Mhm.
learn the behaviors and implement them consciously. Now it's a subconscious thing, and I don't even realize I'm doing it anymore. So it's not as much work, really.
And you feel so different now. It is incredible. I mean, those for those who don't know Elena personally or haven't known her personally, all I can say is confidence is what screams at me from where you are now. I think that's your true nature is just like you're just a spark plug and that's who you are. And it's I love your essence and you're such a bright light. And I think that now gets to come through. There's no haze and fog that's like separating you from living in the joyful life that you've created. You get to show up for it 1,000% now because you're present for it and there's no stuff in the way. We've moved the barriers to that. And it's just such a blessing to see you thriving and just to know how happy this is making your kids is such a special thing.
Thank you so much. And that's a good point. I want to just touch on really quick because I feel like that's probably one of the biggest things I was able to do through the program was clear a lot of negative energy and feelings and grief and things that we don't necessarily every day give ourselves an opportunity to process. And if those feelings aren't processed, I feel it's going to come out in a negative way, like my hair loss, stress, anxiety, pain in your body, right? So with your help working through those things and the grief and the feelings and being able to process them all with the work that we did together really helped me move on from it and be able to like enjoy life.
Yeah,
Really.
it's freedom. It's total
Yeah.
freedom.
Hmm.
Yeah. Love that. So good, Elena. Thank you so much for joining. And I just want to give a big invite to anybody who's watching, who's curious. You are welcome to leave Elena some questions here. I'm sure she would circle back and check in with you. Please respect her privacy and don't bomb her on Messenger. Just leave comments here to this container. We'd appreciate that. And you're welcome to ask me anything too. I know sometimes people are curious about your other more specifics of your experience, and that is fine if you guys want to ask those questions, more personal questions to Elena about her experience. Yeah, and if you're listening, for anybody who's listening that's really feeling like, oh my God, I can just feel that I don't want to be like this anymore. I want that change that Elena's had. The very first step, the place that she started, where you can start too, is just to book a call and have a chat with me. If you're not ready for that, then watch some other interviews reviews, go to the free masterclass. There's a link in the Facebook group. There's a link to a replay. You're welcome to start there. That's the same place Elena started. And then, we didn't know if I could help her until we had a conversation about it. And the same will be true for you. I'll be very direct with you and very straight with you if I know that I can help you to resolve what you're stuck in, and just have these beautiful, beautiful outcomes like Elena has had. So thank you so much for sharing your story, Elena. You're a blessing and a light.
And so are you. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you. Yeah. Appreciate you. Yeah. And so much love to your family too. Just excited for all of you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, you guys. So leave us give Elena some love, some hearts. It takes courage to come on and share your personal life. And it's no small thing battling 45 minutes of tech challenges. So give her some love and appreciation. Leave your comments. Tell us what was helpful, what you loved hearing and appreciated. And we'll see you again soon.
Thank you.